Are you feeling trapped in a battle with a narcissist, constantly defending yourself against their lies, manipulation, and emotional warfare? It's exhausting, isn't it? But what if I told you that the key to true victory isn't in fighting back? It's in stepping back. In this video, we dive deep into the powerful truth that when you stop reacting, when you trust in God's sovereignty over the situation, you can break free from their control. You'll learn how to reclaim your peace, detach from the chaos they try to create, and let divine justice work in your favor. If you're ready to stop playing their game and embrace a peace that can't be shaken, this video will guide you step by step toward emotional freedom and true strength. Watch till the end to discover the transformative power of surrendering control to God and how you can find peace, even amid narcissistic chaos. Don't miss out on this life-changing message. Your peace and freedom await. Before we start, I'd appreciate your support. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on future lessons from God. The narcissist's power is rooted in one fundamental thing: engagement. They thrive on your reaction, your defense, and your desperate attempts to make them see the truth. As long as you are responding to their provocations, you are playing by their rules, trapped in the cycle they've orchestrated. Their goal is not resolution, it is total control. Every argument, every confrontation, every pleading moment of your heart trying to make them understand only serves to inflate their ego, confirming their warped belief that they hold dominion over your thoughts, your emotions, and your very essence. But the moment you stop, the moment you cease feeding into their game, their carefully constructed facade of power begins to crumble, disintegrating like paper in the rain. This is not easy. It feels like you're betraying yourself. Every fiber of your being will scream to fight back. When they slander your name, the urge to expose the truth will burn within you. When they twist the narrative to serve their toxic agenda, you will feel a deep, insatiable need to correct it. But remember, there is a higher force at work. God sees everything. He sees the lies and the deception that others are too blinded to notice. He sees through the veil of false humility, the rehearsed apologies that are nothing but hollow words meant to manipulate. When you release the need to fight for justice, you open the door for God to move in ways that are beyond human comprehension. Consider the story of David and Goliath. David did not win by physical strength or clever argument. No, he triumphed because he had an unwavering faith in a God who does not know defeat. David did not wear the armor of this world. He did not fight according to the rules of his adversary. He stood his ground, trusted completely in the Lord, and the giant fell. The same truth applies to your life. When you choose to remove yourself from the battlefield of manipulation and deceit, you shift the war into divine territory. And in that sacred space, their weapons lose their power. Their words fall flat, and their manipulative tactics dissolve into nothingness. At first, it will feel unnatural. The temptation to defend yourself will be overwhelming, like an insatiable hunger that claws at your very soul. The world will scream at you, telling you that you must prove your worth, that you must fight for yourself or let them win. But hear this: God's definition of victory is not the same as the world's. True victory is not found in arguing, not found in proving your innocence, but in walking away in peace, while they remain locked in their battle against something far greater than you. They are fighting an unseen enemy, a force they cannot comprehend. When you step back, you are no longer in the equation. It is not you that is fighting, it is the justice of God Himself, sweeping in to right the wrongs that they've inflicted upon you. This is where your trust is truly tested. Do you trust that God will defend you? Do you believe that He will expose the hidden truths in His perfect timing, that he will shine light into the darkest corners of deception? Do you trust that the battle is his and not yours? If your answer is yes, then you will discover a strength you never knew you had, a strength that no amount of conflict or struggle could ever provide. You will experience the power of surrender, not surrender to the narcissist, but surrender to a God who will never allow evil to go unchallenged. And when that surrender happens, everything changes. You will begin to see the battle in a whole new light. The need to justify yourself to those who refuse to see the truth will fade away. You will stop wasting your precious energy on those who are intent on misunderstanding you. And in the quiet moments, you will find your greatest weapon, peace, a peace that no narcissist can ever take from you. Peace is born when you release the fight and let God, the ultimate defender, fight on your behalf. One of the most insidious tools a narcissist wields is their ability to provoke reactions from others. They understand the depths of human nature and know how to push your buttons, stir your emotions, and create chaos that demands your attention and response. They thrive on conflict, on drama, and they often instigate it in the most subtle and manipulative ways. But what if the key to breaking free from their grip is not to engage at all? What if you could stand firm in your truth, unmoved by their hurtful words, untouched by their venomous behavior? This shift, though difficult, is the beginning of the end of their control over you. When you stop reacting, you deny them the validation they crave. Narcissists draw their power from the energy they drain from others, and the moment you refuse to engage, you starve that power. They live for the attention, for the drama, for the constant validation of their inflated ego. But when you choose not to play their game, when you stop feeding their insatiable need for control, you strip away the power they once held over you, and in doing so you reclaim your peace, your strength, and your freedom. The more you remain unmoved, the more the narcissist is forced to face the crushing emptiness of their manipulation. Their carefully constructed web of lies, their intricate systems of control, begin to unravel in the face of your quiet resistance. This is not a sign of weakness on your part. Rather, it is the ultimate act of strength. You are choosing a higher, more powerful path, one where you no longer allow fear, anger, or frustration to dictate your emotions. Instead of being swept away by their cruelty, their lies, or their demands, you rise above them, anchored in your peace. When you stop reacting, you reclaim your emotional sovereignty. You become the master of your inner world, untethered from the chaos they try to create. The beauty of this shift lies in how you stop allowing their words, their actions, and their very presence to determine your mood. You no longer bend to their will. You no longer let their toxic energy infiltrate your heart and mind. Their insults, their criticisms, and their manipulative tactics, once powerful enough to push you into a spiral of self-doubt and anxiety, begin to lose their grip on you. As you refuse to engage, you regain the one thing they could never truly control, your inner peace. You are no longer their emotional prisoner, caught in a cycle of conflict and defensiveness. You are free. For a narcissist, control is everything. They do not seek resolution, understanding, or reconciliation. What they want, what they need, is domination. They thrive on creating chaos, on stirring emotions that cause others to react, to lose their composure. They feed on the energy they siphon from those they manipulate, and in their eyes, that energy is their life force. Without it, they wither. But when you refuse to give them the reaction they crave, you starve them of their power. You stop being the emotional supply that they desperately need to fuel their ego. At first, their attempts to provoke you will intensify. They may escalate the drama, make false accusations, or engage in even more elaborate lies, hoping that you will respond in anger, in frustration, in a desperate plea for recognition of your truth. But each time you remain still, each time you stay grounded in your peace, their efforts fall flat. It is as if the fire they ignite meets only the dampness of your unwavering resolve, extinguishing their flames before they can take hold. The more you resist, the less power they have. Their words lose their sting, their criticisms feel like background noise, and their manipulation begins to lose its potency. You become like water to their fire, cool, calm, and unbothered, while their flames sputter and die out, fading into the oblivion they came from. This transformation doesn't just change your relationship with them, it changes the way you see them. As you step back and refuse to engage, the narcissist's true nature becomes painfully apparent. You begin to see the cracks in their armor, the deep insecurities they have so desperately tried to hide. For all their bluster, for all their show of strength, you see them for who they are, fragile, empty, and desperately clinging to an image of themselves that they can never truly believe. Their manipulative tactics, their cruelty, their need for validation. None of it is about you. It is about them, about their inability to feel whole, their insatiable hunger for admiration, and their fear of being exposed to the hollow person they truly are. And that realization that they are not your problem but their own becomes the key to your liberation. Their behavior is not about you being wrong or unworthy in any way. It is about them fighting their demons and struggling to maintain a sense of control and superiority in a world that constantly challenges their fragile self-esteem. When you stop engaging with their tactics, you begin to strip away the layers of their carefully crafted facade. You no longer play a part in their charade, and in doing so, you render them powerless. Their armor, once so imposing, begins to crack, revealing the vulnerable, fearful individual beneath. But the path to this point is not easy. It will test you in ways you never imagined. The initial phases may feel like a battle between your old self, the reactive self that needed to defend and protect, and your new, empowered self, which knows that peace is the ultimate victory. The narcissist will fight back. They will push every button, throw every insult, and use every tactic they have learned over the years to provoke a response. It may feel as though they are winning, that they are wearing you down with their relentless cruelty. But each time you choose silence, each time you choose peace over conflict, you weaken their control. You slowly but surely reclaim your power. And then, one day, you will find yourself looking at them, truly seeing them for the first time, and realizing something extraordinary. You no longer care what they think. Their opinions, once a source of anxiety and pain, no longer matter. The criticisms they threw at you, the insults they hurled in your direction, no longer stick. They slide off you like water off a duck's back. The more you disengage, the more their words lose their weight. You begin to see their manipulation for what it is, a desperate attempt to keep you bound to their narrative, to keep you playing their game. And once you stop playing, the game loses all its power. But what happens to the narcissist when their manipulative tactics no longer work on you? What happens when they can no longer provoke you, control you, or make you question your worth? They turn inward. Narcissists thrive on external validation. Without it, they begin to wither, like plants deprived of sunlight. And as they are forced to confront the void within themselves, the emptiness they have been running from their entire lives, they face an existential crisis that they are woefully unprepared for. Without your energy to feed on, they are left to face their inner turmoil. And that, for them, is the most terrifying battle of all. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is where their true weakness shows. Without you in their line of fire, without you playing the role they've cast you in, they begin to unravel. Their arrogance, their posturing, their desperate need for validation, all of it starts to crumble. They can no longer hide behind the illusion of control because, without your reaction, there is nothing left to manipulate. And this is where your freedom begins. The more you refuse to react, the more you define your boundaries, your sense of self, and your peace. Their influence over you diminishes, and in that space of freedom, you find the strength to live in alignment with your truth. You no longer allow them to steer your emotions or shape your reality. You reclaim the narrative. You no longer give them the power to define your worth, your worthiness, or your future. And as you do, something incredible happens. You begin to realize that you are no longer just surviving, you are thriving. You have taken back your power, your peace, and your autonomy, and no narcissist, no manipulator, no toxic person can ever take that from you again. When you step into this space of emotional sovereignty, you not only reclaim your life, but you also find a peace that transcends the chaos they sought to create. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are the one who has won. The more you stand firm in your truth, the more you realize that your peace is the greatest weapon of all. And in the end, the greatest victory is not in defeating them, but in walking away completely unscathed, free to live your life on your terms. There is something incredibly transformative about surrendering control to God, especially when surrounded by the whirlwind of chaos that a narcissist tries to impose. When a narcissist seeks to dominate your life, overwhelming you with their manipulations, criticisms, and relentless demands, it's easy to feel trapped. The natural reaction is often to become tangled in their web, responding with stress, frustration, and even anger. You feel the heavy weight of their words, the sting of their lies, the relentless pursuit of their validation. But there is a profound power in choosing to trust in God's sovereignty, to let go of the need to control the situation and to place your life into His hands. When you do, something miraculous begins to unfold within you, a deep, unshakable peace that cannot be moved by any storm. This peace does not come from the absence of trouble or the removal of challenges. Rather, it springs forth from the divine assurance that God is in control, that His purposes for you will not be thwarted, and that He is standing by your side through it all. The peace that comes from God is not passive. It is a living, breathing presence that transcends human understanding. It's a calm in the storm, a quiet strength that remains unshaken by the loud, chaotic, and often hurtful actions of a narcissist. It is a peace that sees beyond the turbulence of this moment and anchors itself in the eternal truth that God's power is far greater than any power a narcissist could wield. The more you place your trust in God, the more you find yourself able to stand firm. The narcissist's attacks may continue to come, harsh words, manipulative tactics, lies designed to confuse and control, but you no longer feel the need to engage in them. Instead of becoming entangled in their games, you begin to rest in the divine assurance that God is fighting for you. This sense of divine calm enters your heart, providing you with the strength to hold your ground and remain unshaken, even in the face of their most vicious attempts to destabilize you. In those moments when you feel the temptation to retaliate, to correct their lies, to defend your honor or your integrity against their cruel accusations, the stillness of God's peace will hold you steady. It becomes a protective shield, guarding your heart and mind from the turbulence they create. No longer do you feel the pressure to prove your worth, justify your actions, or gain the approval of someone who will never see you for who you truly are. Instead, you begin to rely on the affirmation that God has already declared your worth, and that is enough. It is a peace that grows deeper with every moment of surrender, a peace that is rooted not in your ability to change the narcissist's behavior, but in your trust that God's plan is bigger than any momentary struggle. This peace is also a constant reminder that you are not defined by the narcissist's words or actions. Their manipulations and accusations might once have shaken you to the core, eroding your sense of self and leaving you questioning your worth. But when you choose to place your trust in God, you come to realize that your identity is not shaped by the judgments of another human being, especially not someone whose love is conditional and whose validation is fleeting. You are a child of God, beloved and chosen, and this unshakable peace comes from the firm belief that God's view of you is the only one that matters. In the past, you might have measured your worth by how much you could prove to the narcissist and how much you could do to earn their approval or win their validation. But when you surrender to God, you no longer feel the need to fight for your place in someone else's world. You stand firm in the truth of who God says you are, and that truth is a foundation that cannot be shaken by any person's cruelty or manipulation. This freedom to stand in your true identity, unmoved and unshaken by the narcissist's attempts to redefine you, is a source of peace that grows stronger with each passing day. One of the most liberating aspects of surrendering control to God is the release of the burden of trying to fix everything on your own. When you are ensnared by the narcissist's grip, it is easy to fall into the trap of believing that the solution lies in your strength, in your ability to explain, confront, or control the situation. But the truth is that your efforts are often limited and will only lead to more frustration, exhaustion, and heartache. The more you try to fix the situation in your power, the more the weight of the struggle burdens your soul. But when you place your trust in God, you let go of that burden. You release the need to control the outcome, to figure it all out on your own, and you trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating a plan that you cannot yet see. You trust that He knows the way forward, that He sees the bigger picture, and that He is working on your behalf, even in the moments when you cannot perceive His hand at work. This is where the peace begins to flood in. As you step back and surrender the fight to God, you stop carrying the weight of the battle on your shoulders. You trust that He is carrying it for you. And this peace, this divine calm, grows deeper as you continually place your trust in God. It becomes a steady stream of comfort, a reassuring presence that reminds you with each passing moment that no matter how hard the narcissist pushes, no matter how fierce their attacks become, you will not be moved. You stand firm, rooted in the unshakable truth that God is in control and that His power is greater than any force you may face. The more you surrender, the deeper your peace becomes. So deep that no narcissist, no manipulator, no person with ill intent can ever shake it. This peace is your refuge. It is your strength. It is the gentle assurance that no matter how much chaos the narcissist may stir up, God is your protector, your deliverer, your ultimate defender. And in this surrender, you discover the ultimate victory, the victory of peace, the victory of trust, and the victory of knowing that God has already fought and won the battle for you. When you rest in His sovereignty, you find the strength to walk away from the chaos, the wisdom to disengage from the manipulation, and the courage to trust in His perfect timing. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are a child of God, secure in His love, His peace, and His provision. In the quiet moments when the noise of the world fades away and you take a breath, you begin to sense the presence of God in unmistakable ways. It may come as a gentle whisper in your spirit, a word of encouragement, or a scripture that brings comfort and peace to your heart. Sometimes it's a profound sense of calm that sweeps over you when the storm of the narcissist's chaos seems unbearable. This peace, however, is not dictated by the circumstances around you. It doesn't depend on your ability to handle the situation or fix everything. No, this is a peace that transcends understanding. A divine calm that settles deeply into your soul and becomes your anchor in every storm you face. God's peace is something that the world cannot give or take away. It isn't dependent on external validation or on how much control you have over your life or relationships. It is a deep, unshakable sense of security in knowing that God is in control and that His love and sovereignty are unshakable, even in the face of the most challenging situations. When you begin to experience this peace, it becomes a refuge, a place of safety inside the narcissist's turbulence. It allows you to respond to their provocations, not out of fear, anger, or bitterness, but out of a heart full of compassion, grace, and understanding. When you know without a shadow of a doubt that God is in control, it sets you free from the compulsion to strike back, to punish, or to try to win the relationship. You no longer need to prove your worth or engage in endless arguments that lead nowhere. Instead, you can choose to love, not because the narcissist deserves it, but because God has called you to rise above, to walk in His peace and His love, knowing that God's justice will prevail. His ways are infinitely higher than yours, and He can bring about change in ways that no confrontation or resistance from you could ever accomplish. The weight of your struggle, the need to change the narcissist, is lifted from your shoulders, and you can stand with grace and patience as God works in His perfect timing. In this space of trust and surrender, God begins to change how you see the narcissist. No longer do you view them solely as someone to be feared or controlled. Instead, you begin to see them through God's eyes. You begin to recognize that they are not impervious to pain or brokenness. They are, in fact, people who are deeply wounded, people in desperate need of healing, people trapped in their insecurities and need for constant validation. This doesn't justify their behavior, but it allows you to extend grace and compassion, understanding that their actions are driven by an inner need that they do not understand. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. At the same time, God's peace cultivates a wellspring of joy and strength within you, an unwavering sense of purpose that is untainted by the narcissist's actions. This divine peace, rooted in your trust in God, propels you forward in life with a sense of clarity and direction that no external force, no manipulation can disrupt. You are no longer swayed by their whims, their criticisms, or their demands. Instead, you move forward in life with confidence, knowing that you are not bound by the past, not defined by the narcissist's influence, but free to live your life according to the plans and promises God has set before you. This peace empowers you to walk boldly in the direction that God has set for you, to pursue the path of healing and growth that He has placed in front of you, with the assurance that no weapon formed against you will prosper. One of the most profound aspects of trusting in God during a relationship with a narcissist is that, over time, God begins to reveal their true nature. The narcissist's carefully constructed facade, the mask they've worn to manipulate and control those around them, begins to crack. At first, they may have appeared charming, confident, or even authoritative, someone who commands respect and admiration. But as you continue to trust in God, His light shines through the cracks in their facade, exposing the truth hidden beneath the surface. This revelation doesn't happen all at once. It unfolds gradually, as God opens your eyes to see the narcissists for who they truly are. No longer are you blinded by their false charisma, their cleverly crafted lies, or the distorted image they've projected. As God's truth shines through, you begin to see the manipulative tactics, the deep insecurities, and the lies that have fueled their actions. It may be disheartening to realize that someone you trusted or loved was using you, manipulating your emotions, and making you feel guilty for things that were never your fault. But even in this pain, God is working. As you surrender to Him, you begin to see the situation clearly, not just as a toxic relationship, but as an opportunity for healing and growth. This revelation can be both liberating and painful. It's liberating because once you see the narcissist for who they truly are, their power over you begins to dissipate. No longer do you feel the need to appease them, to adjust your life to fit their ever-changing demands. Instead, you gain the emotional distance and clarity necessary to set healthy boundaries, protect your heart, and begin to heal. You no longer need to play their game, because their game no longer has the hold over you it once did. But it's also painful because it can be heartbreaking to realize that someone you trusted, loved, or even admired was manipulating and exploiting you for their gain. It's disillusioning to recognize that the love and care you gave were not returned in kind, but rather taken advantage of. Yet, in this painful process, you gain wisdom that helps you discern the difference between true selfless love and the toxic, self-serving nature of narcissistic behavior. You begin to understand that their actions are not a reflection of your worth, but a reflection of their inner brokenness and deep need for validation. And while this realization is painful, it is also freeing, because it gives you the perspective you need to heal and move forward. As God continues to reveal the narcissist's true nature, He also shows you the patterns of manipulation that may have gone unnoticed before. You begin to see the cycles of control, the emotional abuse, and the gaslighting tactics they've used to manipulate and confuse you. This newfound clarity doesn't come to condemn the narcissist, but to set you free. It empowers you to break free from the patterns of abuse and manipulation and to build a life of healing, peace, and freedom. As God's light continues to shine on the truth, you gain the strength and wisdom to move forward in a way that aligns with His will and your highest good. As we come to the end of this discussion, I want to leave you with a powerful reminder. You are not defined by the words or actions of a narcissist. You are strong, worthy, and deeply loved by God. When you choose to step back, trust in His plan, and walk in His peace, you take back control over your life and emotions. No longer are you bound by their manipulation or chaos. You are free to live in truth, strength, and purpose. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one key takeaway from today's video that resonated with you? What is one thing you will start practicing in your own life? Comment below and share your thoughts. I'd love to hear how this message has impacted you. If you found this video helpful, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers and uplifts. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.